ride the frequency. Ride the frequency.
Well, hello there. Welcome, Lady LIANE. How are you doing today?
Well, my body's a little tie-tie.
Ah, touche.
But I'm okay. How are you doing?
Right? Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, honey. She gave me some lemon water with some magnesium. So,
That should help a little bit. We've got some pain issues going on that side there. On her, I don't know. Did I point the wrong way again? It happens if I point the correct way to my vision on my Zoom, because I've got my room mirror imaged. I have to point this way if I want it to point at Grizzly. But I guess here on StreamYard, things are not like Alice in Wonderland. Here we could touch fingers. Look at.
Yeah, right.
He's not playing. No, now you're going the wrong way. See?
You're the opposite way. You got to go backwards.
That way?
There you go, see?
Now I'm pointing away from you. In real life. IRL in real life. Nilda, ¿qué pasó?
Now, Nilda, a little twisted, Trista. Window Bigfoot 911. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you there. Right into frequency today.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah, I decided I need to put glasses on. Really, honestly, I should probably have these other ones on to just hide even more of the circular blackness, the black holes I call under my eyes. Oh, that's not good. Those look better with my different hair. We'll go back to these. Not only that, but like I had these somehow, whatever, and then the cord is like a phone cord, so I pulled and something didn't work and it backfired and I literally gave myself a black eye.
Oh my gosh. That's okay. You wanted to say that? I just tell everybody I fell down a flight of steps. So
we're both doing great.
Yeah, it sucks to get old.
Yeah, I'm actually fine. This one is the one to whom lots of energy should be sent immediately, if not sooner. Oh, here we go. Come on, put your eyes on. Oh, there you all are. Hello. Oof. Wow.
I know.
Gather the thoughts and just.
So I see you got some pictures with some interesting people over the weekend.
You know what? And one of them actually says hello to my audience. Very kind man. He told me to say hello to my audience. So if you'd like to share the photo of Mr. Rivera and myself, I look crazy. I have a bunch of them, but I like that one the best. So Grizzly can go.
I think you texted that, right?
No, it was Facebook.
Mary said Messenger, so let me pull up Messenger.
Yeah, take your time.
People send so much to so many places, it's hard to remember where people send stuff.
Well, on top of which, I was just about to say, when you're in the kind of pain Chris is in right now, like you're not thinking straight. So just excuse any, it's pain.
Yeah, I don't know what I do. Mary's been trying to help with that, thank goodness. Let's see here. There's one picture. Here we go. And action here.
Or I have to do this, and wear 2 pairs of glasses. Maybe I'll wear 3. He's such a nice man. Okay, no, that's not good. Such a nice man. I look like Jay and Silent Bob. I sent that picture to Ross Coulthard, and I was like, I look like Jay and Silent Bob. And then I thought about what I had sent and said to myself, I don't think he knows what that is. So I typed again, I don't know if you know what Jay and Silent Bob is. And then I had another thought, geez, I really hope he doesn't know what Jay and Silent Bob is. And then I wrote that down and like, this poor guy gets so many crazy texts from me. Ross Coulthard does. Like one of these days, I'm going to talk to that guy. Anyway, I got to hang out with this guy. What a sweetie. He's in his 80s.
Mary was right.
Oh yeah, he's like, I want to say 84, but I don't remember. I mean, anybody can Google it. Like, I suppose I could even Google it while we're talking. Geraldo Rivera. Because how old Geraldo Rivera? He's 81. Like, really, on
Well,
the
he
other,
looks good for 81 years old, though.
yeah, but on the other side of that, who gives a fuck how old he is? Like, what he ate for lunch, if it's his shit like got corn in there for texture. I mean, like, really, the mentality. My reason for bringing this up is because he looks great, and he's such a gentle person. It felt like, although, back in his heyday, if he was on an opposing opinion side, I'm sure it wasn't pleasant to be on the receiving end of that. Like, any good journalist is probably hardcore if he's got his eyes on you. And but yeah, it was really kind of nice to see him for real. Yeah. So I gave him a couple of magnets, and I gave him a CD, and I asked like his youngest daughter or one of his, does anybody in the family? And then so I signed a little picture, and he's like, when I handed him the CD, he said, what do you want me to autograph this? I was like, no, I'm giving it to you. Like, and he was kind of taken aback. I said, no, I'm trying to give you stuff. Like, I don't want anything from you. I just want to give you some CD. Like, I don't know. And then, these autograph shows are pretty intense. The one in October that I did, it's the same thing, but in April. And so, Friday it starts at like 4 or 5 o'clock, and it goes till 11 o'clock at night. But then Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it's a lot of people coming in and out. Not everybody's healthy. You're like constantly, LIANE is constantly spraying everybody with alcohol, and then herself with alcohol. And it's amazing my phone doesn't have like moisture damage because of all the alcohol.
Wow.
It's a fucking thing. Anyway, but yeah, it's harsh. So I met a couple people that I know. I don't need to name drop, but I went and I just saw some old friends, and they're eating chicken fingers. And then there's this one assistant, and I said, what do you usually eat? And they're like protein and salad and low carb. And I kind of thought, oh man, well, I'm going to go home, and then Saturday morning I'm going to cook, and then I'm going to bring like 2 pounds of ground turkey and a couple of bags of salad, and I'm going to feed everybody. I'm going to go around and feed everybody because I've got all these leftover like to go plate things from my mom's from God Loves We Deliver, because I don't like throwing away plastic in the world. So somehow I ended up hoarding these rectangular plastic containers that came sealed with meals in them. I've got tons of them. I thought, well, what better way to use those than to feed the hungry at Chiller, right? So then I have a miscommunication with my doorman who holds the parking space for the HOA lady. And I went downstairs and had a freaking panic meltdown because I felt like I was letting people down. Like, because I know sitting behind a table, you're locked behind there and people are coming in, and it's hard to.
What?
Yeah, I actually charge 50 and then 30 for a selfie. And yeah, so it's 70 for a combo. Like, whatever.
That's good pricing.
It is. I made about $5,000. Like, not that people are supposed to talk about this shit, but I made about $5,000 the last go round. Like, if I did one of these every month, like in different states, I could maybe actually pay my rent. So.
Yeah, we got an event this weekend. It's like, and plus we're moving.
Right, that's a lot going on. Hopefully you guys are both taking intentional breaths and releasing them.
On each other.
Well, that's when it's time to have compassion for the other guy, because it's very stressful. They say things like moving can cause a big ruckus between a couple. I'll just put it that way.
I believe it.
Yeah, without weaponizing words or escalating it to a level or putting ideas in anybody's head, because I don't need to be that guy either. So just, be mindful of your stress levels on the inside and just take breaths and try to take a minute before you respond to each other, because I know you guys love each other so hard, and sometimes things get whacked.
Right.
People say shit and they don't mean it. Stress does weird shit, and pain. Now pain levels on top of that. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I'll send you some good energy.
Yeah, I'll take anything. It's what I told Mary. I'll try anything today. I tried heat, cold, Bengay, magnesium. I'll try anything right now.
Well, just no OxyContin. Promise me.
No, I don't have that. That makes me feel good when they had me on that for a while.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I thought I was Superman.
Don't we all? Just for a second. It's like being a teenager all over again without the emotional angst. Ugh.
Right?
Never again. Please. Please no. Oh man. So yeah, so let's talk about a couple things. Like, I know I tend to yammer a lot about consciousness and all these things that I feel like I know in my molecular structure, but a couple funny things. I have a sense of humor, and I love wacky, crazy shows. And one of the wacky, crazy shows I got to watch is, like, if you want to scroll way the heck back up there, is the second link that I put up with Ross Coulthart at about 18 minutes and 55 seconds into the most recent Q&A that Ross Coulthart very kindly does for the viewers. They get thousands of questions every week, and like 4 get chosen. So it's like winning the lottery when you get your question on the Q&A. But so 18 minutes 55 seconds in, it starts. And he starts talking about flight obsession. I'm just going to call it, because Ashton is just like, he's lost his nut on more than one occasion. And yeah, and like by the time you get to 22 minutes and 35 seconds, that's when Ross says that Ashton answered the interviewer in quite a fashion, and said something like, "My butthole looks just like your butthole." But hearing Ross say that, like, you expect things like that out of my mouth. I had to stop. Like, I replayed that so many times. This is where I join the majority. I'm sure if you go and look, that's probably got a big, giant hump of the most replayed hump. So if anybody wants to hear Ross Coulthart say butthole 2 times, go there, because I did. Yeah. Hi, Amy. It's the kindergarten police. Uh-oh, I better change topics. No, I'm not calling you the kindergarten police. I'm not. But you could be. Probably. I probably need something like that. The other thing that I watched, which is actually kind of interesting. I tend to watch these talks, the quartet, Greg Braden, Penny Kelly, John Peterson, and Frank Jacob, who I had the pleasure of speaking with for a while. And this last episode basically revolves around enlightenment and what does it mean to be enlightened. So, these guys take the topic after speaking about what they want to speak about, and they do the roundtable thing. So I found Penny Kelly's response quite interesting, because not only have I physically gone through a lot of what she's describing, it just made me feel better. Like, I'm not crazy.
Right.
Right? So I don't need to go to talk about the specific things. I've mentioned bullet points before, and it's not really worth continuing. It's more interesting for me to hear what she has to say. You wouldn't know it as much as I interrupt people. But yeah, I highly encourage you guys, if you have a couple minutes, to check out that quartet talk. You know, back at the top of this chat. Dan, I don't know if you're in here, Mark Thorner. Sometimes he watches, sometimes he doesn't. But he sent, or I guess I got a notification because I hit the bell and I liked his channel. His YouTube channel. He's got this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'll post it again right here. He goes out and he takes the most beautiful footage of the night skies. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to see some cool stuff from down in, I think, Florida, check that out. What else? Let me just go through my links. And if anybody has any questions about any of this stuff, please feel free to put the comments in. I'm trying to look at them for a change. What's Grizzly doing? I know, right? There's an awful lot of moving around. Like, and who knows where Mary is right now? This is starting to get interesting. What's going on over there, Grizz?
I was adjusting my laptop stand.
That's what they all say. Okay. I'm kidding. Maybe it's not time when somebody's in pain to start joking like that. No, like a drunk uncle on the housebroken chair. Well, you know what? I actually noticed that I jiggle around. Like, I'll put my foot under my butt sometimes, and I'll do that, and then I'll do this. And today when I was talking to Clive, there was the rocking. The rocking happened because the topics just made me go into a space where there was just a lot of rocking. And that's okay. It's okay to rock back and forth when you're hearing things that make you open up, like a drunk auntie on the housebroken chair. Ooh. Why does it have to be an uncle? It's not gender specific, is it? All right. So yeah, check out Mark Thorner's video, and you won't have to take Dramamine because it won't make you feel like the drunk uncle or aunt or like you're on a broken chair. I promise. Videos, however, that would do that. I won't recommend them. Clive Christopher. Those of you who have been watching this since the beginning know that Clive has been on twice. Clive has this fabulous Aliens Uncovered series that plays.
That's pretty cool.
It is. Well, at the very end of this one, they see what they think is a portal. And in real time, he already knows what all that is because all of this was filmed about 9 months ago, and he showed me privately these shots, you know. And now that this one is out, there's a shot where he's got a BMX guy. He was hired to do BMX photography, videography. Okay. And in the sky, there's a Black Hawk helicopter. And he's got that. And then the guy comes into frame with his bike and he does the jump, and he's got 3 shots in succession. And originally, you know, he thought that the saucer was moving, but he realized his camera was moving because he's following the bike guy. But it's a very clear picture of something. Now, mind you, Clive lives in Arizona. And today we talked again on a recorded Zoom. It was brief because he's busy. He's busy. So I got to catch him when I can catch him. He says to me that all of Arizona is basically the range. And it's true. He was talking about the range way before anybody ever heard of Jake Barber. Okay. And he's got this master gunman named Chris. And when they go to Chris's house, like the water tower across the street, I could probably, if I had a good gun for an arm, Mickey Mantle sure could hit that water tower with a baseball. Like, this is how far away what's going on camera is. And it's very deceptive. It looks like it's way far away. It's not. So they've got this other like super geek dork guy who's not really geeky or dorky, but like I just say that because he's got like, it's like Kim Jong-il. He's got 15 screens and like the highest whatever like AI that can get rid of motion and like really focus in on what you're seeing. So you've got an hour and 15 minutes basically on this show of Aliens Uncovered that's for sale on Apple TV, not on the Samsung. And they're looking at a green light flashing at them, and Chris, the gunmaster, he's shining it, clicking it back, and then they're clicking it back, and they're eliminating that it's a hiker, not a hiker. Blue light, green light, white light goes whoosh, flashes, and then closes. Like, so then they're over at this other dude's house. They're at Kim Jong-il's house. I can't remember anybody's name. I'm so bad. I call him that because there was no evidence of pornography, CNN on 50 other screens, or Jack Daniels anywhere. So like, just erase that from your minds. But yeah, I mean, the guy's got the tech and the AI assist to be able to isolate these shots, and hi, Virgil. How are you? I like that guy. They isolate these shots, and it's very interesting for me because I have a very short attention span. I could have done with less repetition. However, Clive, and I understand what he's doing, wants to make the audience feel like they're right there second by second by second by second. And these people review the same footage like a million times with slightly different whatever. So for me, that was a little bit tedious, but it's part of the research process. It's like editing. You see a music video, or you listen to an audio book, like, and you think you just go record it in there. Like, if you really want to be on the inside and watch what I'm doing and be in the room with me when I'm editing, oh boy, how glamorous. 80 hours of like dragging things, clipping things off, having to undo and redo, and then being micromanaging breaths and mouth noises. And oh my God. And the glamour goes out the fucking window. Like, it's not fun, this research stuff. But if you're fascinated in the topic and what's going on, I'm sure it feels not like work. So I appreciate the fact that they're inclusive of their audience in that way, especially since when it comes to this kind of stuff, everybody's like, we want tangible evidence. We want empirical. Have somebody land a craft. So, in the successive 4 episodes of this Aliens Uncovered that you can buy. Hey, Linda.
That's my mother.
Hi. Oh, your baby don't feel good.
Yeah, that's my mother.
Mama. Time to be super grateful for Mary right now, taking care of your baby. Not to and mind your business, but I certainly am so grateful for anybody close to my children when they're ailing and I can't physically be there. It like sometimes will bring me to tears because gratitude, so much gratitude for so many things, which is a nice thing to pause and ponder, being grateful for silly little things and serious things. So, yeah, I'm actually not keeping up with the chat because I'm just listening to what I'm saying and trying to stay focused. So I'm sorry, you guys, if I'm not interacting with you guys enough. It sounds like there's somebody who went through a whole bunch of stuff, which is pertinent to government shenanigans and reverse technology and engineering and the experiences one has when one is embroiled in all that. So thank you to whoever you are for your service. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, a little ADHD. All right, back to me. Only children actresses. Ugh, New York is pushy. What else? I think maybe that's it. Like Clive, just I would highly, if anybody's got $9.99 right now, it's hard for me this week. But I did it I did it anyway. 18 eggs. Aliens Uncovered. I went with Aliens Uncovered instead of 18 eggs. It's okay. I could get my protein from the almonds I bought for $4. Oh man. So yeah, highly encourage you to check Clive Christopher out, because honestly, I feel like they're doing some kind of unfunded, like no oversight from a third party, like Jake Barber. It's basically a citizen operated with 6K cameras by people who are experiencers and meditators, and it's like a civilian version of what Jake Barber's doing. And just because they aren't on the actual military facility doesn't mean that they're not on, quote, the range. Like Clive insists that the whole state of Arizona is the range. And he actually went into some stuff today about how the military loved Arizona because nobody lived there. It was the lowest populated state, which is why they, right? And then people started showing up to move there because they liked the heat for whatever reason. They were gravitating, which kind of messed things up for, nefarious activity, because now we have people. Ugh. How annoying. Let's get rid of them. Oh, have some fluoride. Sorry. So yeah, it's all very interesting. All this stuff is very interesting. And it comes back to Mary asked me, you need to give me topics ahead of time because I need to promote. I'm like, conscious evolution. And the week after that, conscious evolution. And the week after that, I said, you know what I'm about to say, Mary? She's like, well, at least you're making it easy because you're consistent. I said, yeah, pretty much. I'm back to, if we all identified as an awareness, so many of the lower vibrating, unpleasant behavior of the species would pretty well go away pretty fast. There are just certain things in which you would choose not to participate, operating from that point of view. I've been watching a lot of near-death experience videos. There's one particular channel. I guess they've been doing it for a long time. So even if I binge it, I still have weeks before I'm done all the content on there. It's what I like about these channels that have been up for a decade. There's a lot of stuff up there. But yeah, man, being one with the all, you get to take your awareness with you. And then when they get put back in their bodies, guess what? Your awareness gets tossed back in, but you're having a physical experience again. But your awareness and your personality doesn't seem to leave you when you go out of your body. What does that tell you? That you're an awareness before you're a body. Then where does that 28 grams of what you are, of energy, 28 grams. When Grizzly crosses, when Mary crosses, when the little 6-pound dog crosses, 28 grams every flippin' time. What is that? Why ask why? The idea that science doesn't stop and only focus on that or other things. Just stop and only focus on the pineal gland has cilia. Okay. When you breathe properly in a meditation and pull your energy and clench your bunghole, Ashton Forbes, clench that bunghole because it looks just like mine when you clench. Okay. You pull your breath up and it makes you feel like uncomfortable because you're pulling energy literally up your spine. You can't see this stuff. Our telescopes, microscopes, whatever, don't measure this. But it's a thing because when I did it properly, and when you exhale after you push and put pressure on your pineal gland, and when you exhale the breath, everything starts vibrating. On the exhale, you do that properly a few times in a row, you're going to squirt yourself some DMT, son. You're going to see some colors like you ain't never seen here. I'm telling you. Like I'm telling you, I should be talking like this because I'm like from New York, but like I don't do that either, really, you know? So there you go. If I would, if everybody were to take the time to just try it, if they were to successfully do the Joe Dispenza guided meditation for the pineal gland, you do that fucker right, you're going to see shit. And you're not going to know how long it lasted or what the hell that was. But it reminds me of what these NDE people say. The colors I saw aren't like what they are here in 3D. The colors I saw when I was shooting down that freaking tube, like more and more, I'm thinking that that was some version of a Kundalini experience because I was able to draw the energy up and release and then see some really never happened again. I haven't really tried hard. And they also say, and I've said this before, that you don't have the same meditation twice exactly. But, you know, once is enough to make you pay attention. I'll tell you that. You don't forget that. You don't. So, highly encourage people. It can't hurt you. I mean, for crying out loud, how many times do kids go and like hold their breath and hug each other to asphyxiate on the freaking playground? What kid hasn't played that stupid game and almost croaked? You know, lots of us have done it, I'm sure. And then there are the nice kids who just don't do dumb shit. Like I've never been that guy. Not in this lifetime.
NDEs, like is
Near-death experience.
Right.
Near-death experience when people get into crazy car accidents. Here, let me go find the channel and post it. NDE channel. Like, I'm not kidding you. When I hear some of these stories, literally reduced me to tears. I spent all weekend, last weekend, listening to near-death experience. The Other Side NDE is the channel. Let me derp squirp la 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 here. Dun, dun. Boing. Come on, send. Do it. Did it do it? Do it! Check that out, guys. Like, brought me to tears. Some of them, yes. Not everybody sees Jesus. It's okay. But when you come back, you don't feel the same.
No, it changes your life and everything.
Changes how you see things. Makes you understand a little bit more why you're here and what not to do. Like every single one of them said, you really need to be careful what you think. It's not even what comes out of your mouth. It's what you think about other people creates an energy and a vibration. it just sets something off and you can't take it back. It's permanent. Once you think it and you feel it and that energy goes out, that's it. And every time you do that, you're creating another for your life review. No shit. 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. You want to understand a little bit better why you got to monitor that, watch what you're thinking, watch what your intention is. You're going to have to look at all of it. And it's not a punishment. It's just, how can you do better next time? Boy, oh boy, I'm not looking forward to my life review on so many levels. Like did so much crazy shit when I was little, because it doesn't matter, because that's what I chose in that moment. Because I can say I didn't know any better, but guess what? In the legal system, you can say, oh, but I wasn't aware of the law. That doesn't mean you didn't break it. Just because you're ignorant to something doesn't mean you didn't break a rule. So that's not an excuse. Might be an explanation, but you still have to pay the toll on the other end. Right? So I poke Grizzly. He can't see right. He has a car accident. There's a fatality as a result. It's because I chose to poke him in the eye. Not is it my fault because I'm an ego, like looking for reasons to feel special because look what I did, and then make me the victim in it. That's not what I'm talking about, because people do that too. That's not it. You really it's the whole throw a rock in the water and shit pools out, man. And once it starts pooling, you can't. You ever throw a rock in the water and try to pull the pools back? It don't work. So, that's all. That's all. Anyway, Amy, you should go on that show. That's what I think. Ack. Why ack? Is that something that I'm supposed to? Is that initials for something, or just you don't like attention? A lot of people don't like to be on camera. I know a guy named Steve Spear. Like, for all of the work he's done and all of the attention his work has done, he insists he doesn't like being in the spotlight. But some people like saying, and I'm not accusing Amy of this at all, but just, have you ever noticed that sometimes, not all people, that's the way they get the attention, is by saying, oh, I really don't want the attention. Right? They're using reverse psychology on the world, or think they're doing it. It was too boring to be on a show. Why does anybody want to come back? Unfinished business. A lot of these people, some of them are given a choice. Others, I saw one last night. This lady, she was, how you go water skiing? Well, in her family, they didn't go water skiing. They went on this little weird dinghy thing with pontoon things on the bottom. And to make her long story short, she got caught up on the tow rope, and the brother-in-law didn't hear anybody. Like, they both bailed because he said, the boat's sinking, get off so that I can get the boat to land to shore before it sinks. And the tow rope somehow caught around her thigh. So when he took off, the whole thing just went right through her leg. And he's hauling ass and she's swallowing water. And she says she's thinking things like, well, I might as well just let go. I wonder how the funeral is going to look. I wonder if they'll have it here, or if they'll have it in Colorado where I live. Like, she's having these thoughts. And she says, well, in her head, oh, I guess I'm dying. And then as soon as she thought that, off she went into the mystery. My friend Annie O'Donnell calls it that, the mystery. And then, I'm not going to tell her whole story, but when she was talking to what she identified as the creator of the universe, he asked her what she wanted to do. You want to go back, or do you want to stay here? And she said, I'm going to leave that up to you. And as soon as she had that thought, she said, shit. Then she went, oh, shit. I said shit in front of you. Oh my God, I did it 3 times. like that. Like you're not supposed to curse in front of. It was pretty funny. I actually laughed at that part. But she likened that to when she was back here. One of the things that she talks about when she counsels people is choice, and how you have a choice to think these thoughts or not think these thoughts about people. You have a choice in what your intention is. And if you're going to be up for a life review and it's not some, you get to see all the good things you did and what the ripple effect from all the good things are too. But, when you get lost in the matrix and start making whack choices because you don't think it's a choice, you think that's just what you're supposed to do, and then just get more and more spiraled into the 3D and the dogma and the acting like a conformed individual, because the education system doesn't support thinkers, it supports workers, and they don't want workers to think. So they've deliberately, since 1900, okay, it takes 3 generations to instill a behavior in the DNA. How many generations since 1903? 123 years later, 22 years later. How many generations have now been taught to be workers, and not allowed to be thinkers? Because once you start thinking differently from what they teach you at school, what happens to you? You get picked on. You get scapegoated. You learn very quickly that it's not okay to be your authentic self. No bueno. This is a really weird place. Very, very weird place. I don't want no life review. Well, guess what? Nobody gets out of that one. Nobody gets out of that one. But I'd like to think that after your little rest time and you reintegrate into a 3D body someplace, whether it's Earth or some other reality, that you remember somehow, at least in your DNA and in the molecules into which you throw your creation energy, where your soul jumps in. I'd like to think that at some point, the iteration, you don't forget. You stay fully membered and not fractured, so that you don't have to remember yourself, literally. Like when knowledge of what it all means gets separate or hidden somehow, embedded in the DNA, so it's there but it's not there consciously. It would be nice to be a human who runs the program of I'm an awareness and remembers that we're creators through intention and thought and through our hearts. Can you imagine a whole civilization that behaves like that? I want to be a part of that. How about you guys? Grizzly should have Amy on. Put my leg up again. Who's putting their leg up? I put my leg up. I used to be able to put my leg around my head. I don't know if I can do. I'm probably not that flexible anymore. If that's to what you were referring. Flatline, passed out for most of it, bled internal seatbelt got me. Yeah, man, wear your seatbelt until you've got internal bleeding and your guts got lacerated. I've heard of that before. Not good. I think there was a guy who, yeah, that's right. 2 of his kids were in the back seat. 1 survived. The infant died. The wife died. He crossed over, came back into a body with, I don't know, I think both legs were, maybe one or both legs were amputated. His rehab was several months, and he was so worried about what his kid was going to think when he got home. And his kid was so excited about when he got home, and it was just the opposite response that, he was afraid would happen. There's so much love in children. That child was just grateful to have his daddy back. Anyway, daddy plus lots of interesting experience and knowledge is what he got back. So hopefully that family is thriving right now. But, it takes a lot of guts to discuss these things. A lot of people still have issues with, oh, sure you did. That was just an electric brain signal something, and it's just not really real that you went there. It's like, okay. There's a doctor named Sam Parnia, Parnia, who's doing studies out of NYU Langone. He wanted to have a skull cap on my mom as she passed away so that he could measure the electrical signals in her brain as she went to see if they flared in the last moment. So. Anyway, it's all very fascinating to me.
It is fascinating.
I'd rather talk about this stuff, and please, no disrespect to you guys, although it's going to come off snobby and, oh my God, what a fucking bitch. But who needs football and tribal warfare over a pigskin when this shit is going on? Why would you want to watch 2 teams do that when you could figure out what the human species is and figure out how to astral project and function at full throttle? Why would you want to sit around and watch football? You don't think that that's some kind of social engineering distraction so that we never figure it out?
It's a mess.
What can you mess up? There's no mess up. There's no way to mess anything up. That's human-made intellectual ideas that get in people's way of being your authentic self and being vulnerable publicly without a flying fuck what other people think about your story. That's their problem, Amy. No joke. That's what. You can be as sensitive as you want. That doesn't change what happened. So, there's no ridicule here. There may be jokes, but it's not at your expense. It's because people sometimes need to just make themselves feel a little more comfortable. The subject can be triggering because of the way we've been conditioned. Even to people who are open-minded. I mean, today even Clive was talking to me about something and he said, okay, well, let's put our hats on. So I put a fucking Kleenex on my head because I was getting triggered by the conversation. So I thought I would just do something funny because instead of interrupting or doing the rock and rock, it didn't help. Hey, Michelle. Just all a matter of when you feel that energy pop up, maybe, don't put a Kleenex on your head, just sit with it and notice it and wonder why you're getting triggered and what that's all about without, zoning out and going, wait, what did you just say? I just zoned out because I right? You can be aware of multiple things going on at the same time. At least I can. I'm sure you guys can. Yeah, I think that's back to Amy. You're sensitive. It's part of being the divine being you are. Your sensitivity. That's just a gauge of your vulnerability ability. Okay. That's okay. That's the good news, that you're sensitive. I grew up being raised by a hypersensitive human being who was also fucking brilliant. She's a genius, my mom. So it's okay. If it's any indication into the human condition and how we've been conditioned to feel like being sensitive is a bad thing, it's not. It's your guidance system, dude. Yeah, some are more comfortable on stage. Some are more comfortable in the orchestra pit. It's interesting that you would put it in that analogy. I like the music analogy and the onstage and orchestra pit, but like we all have a part to play. So there's no wrong way to do it. There's that.
Right.
Exactly. But what does that mean, a public speaker? Like, we're all public thinkers. If all of our thoughts go into the collective experience, what you're thinking, every time you have a thought, you're throwing something into that collective consciousness. So, in 3D maybe, but in consciousness and in awareness, we're all part of the orchestra and we're all on the stage simultaneously. We're creating all of it as we go. No joke. Every thought you think, every feeling you have, every intention you have lays out the next tile for the collective human species to step on and experience. That's what I'm saying. Like, if everybody, not because I say so, like, because if I ran the world, I'm just saying, like, from what I have gathered and grasped, and I think I'm still capable of grasping ideas that aren't conventional. Like, it's the only way out is to act like an awareness, not a human being, and know that your human being, your ego, and your body are tools and toys with which you can play, especially when you're clean minded. Yeah, clean intentions. This becomes a playground. If everybody were like that, you know, it's not the ETs that are a problem, it's the human beings who are conditioned to like be in fear of the unknown and then kill things that they don't like because it scares them. It's just so dumb. It's like, at what point does it become dumb? At what point was it not ever always dumb? And yet here we are, still doing it. It might sound arrogant and it might sound bossy to some. That's okay. Oh, that's why Amy made that analogy. Here in New York?
No, I think she's in Alabama.
Interesting. My mom was in a bunch of musicals on Broadway. And my downstairs neighbor, Jill, she still plays viola. Sometimes she's doing a Broadway show. And then kids in my class, 2 parents of children in my class were in the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. So when my mom would take me to the Philharmonic, this went down really well with the kids. I'm out at night with my mom going to their parents' day job, saying hi to their mom and dad at night when everybody else is doing homework and in bed. And here's Leanne getting her experience expanded by her mom. And then so I go back to school and the teacher doesn't like it, makes it public. And then the kids are like, ugh, right? Because all my mom's trying to do is open up my mind and make sure I don't shrivel, because all I do is watch soap operas. Like, talk about backwards. It's like, how about asking Leanne what it's like, opening your mind to have the experience shared with you? as opposed to making fun of somebody who does something different. I hope the world changes a little bit.
Right. Isn't that the truth?
Uh-oh. Did I trigger Amy? I've just, I'm not afraid of anything. The only thing I'm afraid of is hesitating and fear, because that's when things go fuck sideways. For me, anyway. I mean, Grizzly will tell you, if you're in a car and you're doing something and you don't know if you should do it and you hesitate, 99.9% of the time, that's when the accident happens, because you fucking hesitated and didn't just, unless you're clearly about to T-bone somebody, and then, I would just slam on the brakes there, please, thank you. But still, you know what I mean, right, Grizzly?
Right.
Am I right about that? Is that...
Yeah.
Moments of hesitation and self-doubt, to me, that's the devil creeping in right there, fucking with you. When you know something and then something makes you question yourself, smack that shit down. And know the difference between your intuition telling you not to do something and that other fuckery coming in. I can explain my first child too. Unprotected sex. 3 times. Is that too much? We're all a result of unprotected sex. We're going to take the romance out of it. My youngest used to get so insulted. She's like, how do you say that? It's like, well, I mean, there's an actual literal accuracy to it. What's your problem? Plus, it's funny in some circles. Anyway, that's how I explain my first, second, and third children. Wow, unlike Leanne, who just stream of consciousnesses at you guys for about an hour every freaking week, and then, oh, look, it's 6:28. Time to shut my mouth and go finish cleaning my house. All right, you guys, go check out those links, because they're kind of fun, especially when Ross Coulthard says butthole in his Australian accent with Megan on his question and answer. It's always fabulous. Keep riding the frequency. Remember, you're the awareness. I love you guys. See you next week. And check out some of my pre-recorded talks. They're kind of interesting. To me, anyway.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm the